Now, as distressing as it is for all of us to see what's unfolding in Afghanistan, particularly in Kabul, imagine what it's like for Afghan people living in Australia. Let's catch up now with Atika Hussain, who's a lawyer and human rights advocate based in Western Sydney. Thanks for joining us, Atika. You grew up in Afghanistan and you're seeing what's unfolding there now. Tell us what your thoughts are and what your deepest concerns are.
Thank you, Chris, for having me. My family left Afghanistan during the first time Taliban came into power. And we fled like so many people that we're seeing right now on through videos that circulating online. We fled to Pakistan, and then from Pakistan, we were fortunate enough, privileged enough that we got the humanitarian visa and we got resettled in Australia in 2006. My memories of the 1990s when Taliban came into power is not a lot. I was quite young. I was 8 or 10 years old when they come into power, and but I do have a lot of stories. I do hear a lot of stories that I heard from my parents, stories that is available, I think, in every house, every Afghan national who fled the country. And we do have our concerns. We do have our fears that there's a lot of information back from 1990s, what happened during that time, during Taliban regime. And we can only hope those things don't happen. But there is also fear, very genuine fear by us who are living in diaspora, and also by people, by individuals who were active for past 20 years. There's a very genuine fear that what will come, and we will see in future coming days or weeks.
Yeah, the Taliban have been putting out information saying they're going to be a gentler, kinder Taliban. I don't know why anyone would believe that, but apart from the future that might be confronted by women and girls in Afghanistan under the Taliban, you must be concerned about the Hazara community, ethnic minority of about 4 million people who have been treated appallingly in the past.
Absolutely, Chris, absolutely. Like women and children rights and minority rights. These are the one of the very important concerns. We've got a lot of precedent. We've got history in 1990s, how women were treated, how minorities were treated by Taliban. So of course our fear, concern remains, and even with the 1998 incident that occurred during Taliban, thousands of Hazara minority, thousands, we're not talking about 10 or 100, we're talking about thousands of them were massacred, young male Hazaras, as if there is this structure, there is this intention against this minority group, Hazara group in Afghanistan.
Atika, you've been in contact with people in Afghanistan in the last couple of days. What are they doing? Are they looking to get out, or are they just trying to lay low? Tell us what you're hearing from your former homeland.
Chris, I'm mostly in contact with my friends over the years that I met in Afghanistan. Most of them young females who were their hopes were nourished in past 20 years. They got educated. They got to live a life and have a fight in the system to sort of work to build this civil society in Afghanistan. I see most of them in hiding now. I am in contact with them, but our contact is very limited. And they choose to go into hiding. They choose to go into groups to sort of support each other. But the fear that how they will be treated, the fear that what Taliban will do remains. We cannot say anything about that at the moment. What the treatment of them would be. But if we compare what happened to women in Kandahar, what happened to women in Herat, we have huge concern. We have huge concern.
It's just terrible. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Atika. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Atika Hussain, just think about that, the horrors that could be befalling women in Afghanistan in times to come. Going back to what Joe Biden said earlier, I showed you when he talked about staying there longer, would it make all the difference? Or it make all the difference to those women. And as Atika so articulately expressed it, the idea is, the reality is that there's been 2 decades of relative stability and peace building and nation building, and girls going to school and women daring to believe that they can live a proper and fulfilled life. Little girls who have been going to school over the past decade in Afghanistan, gone now. Those aspirations snatched away. And we in the West, we say, it wouldn't have made much difference if we stayed. Whew. Make a lot of difference to those individuals, wouldn't it? Diabolical situation. I don't pretend otherwise. Diabolically tough for politicians. But this is going to be terrible for so many people.